Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video brought to you by Rob's Mind. And today, today guys, if you cannot tell, we are going to be working on the Iron Farm tutorial. Yes, that's right, it has been a long time in the making. I think I told you guys about 4 weeks ago that this was going to be my next video. This is like 2 videos since that, and yeah, here we are with an Iron Farm tutorial for 1.15 and 1.16. Just to be clear, I do know that 1.15 is being merged into 1.16, but if you take a look up here in the top left of my screen, you will see that the RTX beta is currently in 1.15. So this will work for those people as well that are also in that beta, but it will work for 1.16. Unfortunately, in 1.14, you will get the standard rate of 32 iron ingots per hour, roughly. Not very good. This one, on the other hand, is, as you can see, much, much better. What is that, our third golem to spawn since the intro of this? It's been a minute. So, yeah, this thing is ridiculously efficient. And let's actually go and look at some of the numbers. As I'm sure that you guys have seen, if you've seen any other videos showcasing the spawn rate increase, we get roughly 300 ingots per hour. I've tested this several times. It's pretty close. It's like almost 5 stacks. It's just over 4 stacks of material. So that is pretty cool. Of iron ingots, just to be clear. Then the dimensions of this, not very bad. It's 18 blocks in width, 28 blocks in length, and 12.5 blocks in height. And that is coming from the chest all the way up to the top layer of half slabs around the top. Yeah, so that is the dimensions of this farm overall, and I would say that that is a pretty compact means for an iron farm. And inside of this chest is what we are going to need to build this thing. Let's do a quick run through of our materials, even though it will be down in the video description. So you're going to need at least 2 chests, at least 4 hoppers. That is bare minimum for your storage on this. You can expand the storage as big as you'd like. I'm not showing you how to do that in this video. You need 22 beds, 10 workstations of any type. You could use the blast furnace, you could use lectern, you could use barrels, 10 villagers, 1 bell, 4 buttons, 2 lava buckets, 36 signs. Any type of signs will work, 4 magma blocks, an infinite water source, 4.5 stacks of slabs, and 9.5 stacks of whatever block you choose. So now that we've got that cleared up, I have to get rid of a few crucial things inside of here. I'm going to have to get rid of all the beds, all the workstations, and all the villagers. So I guess let's do the deed. Alright, now we have all the villagers, workstations, and beds cleared out of there. I did this for 2 reasons. Number 1 is so that I can build the second iron farm and show you guys how to do it, and it'll actually work. Number 2 is that I also wanted to demonstrate you cannot have any villagers within, I believe it is 60 or 80 blocks of this iron farm. If you have villagers outside of that, they could all link, and it could break your iron farm entirely, causing it to stop producing any iron. Alright, to start out this tutorial, I'm going to build it up 7 blocks off the ground, just to match that one, but also I would recommend building this at least 4 blocks off the ground to prevent cats from spawning underneath it. And that would be 4 blocks, so your double chest would be located on the 5th block, these hoppers on the 5th block. Yeah, that is where I would recommend you placing the bottom of it at the bare minimum. The higher the better, in my opinion. But like I say, we're going to build up 7 blocks. I'm going to create a small platform in order to place down my chest and hoppers on. Like so. We'll go ahead and place a double chest for now, and 4 hoppers leading into the back of the chest. Just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and surround these with some blocks. Now you should have something looking kind of like this, and you can go ahead and place down 4 signs in there. Just a couple on each of the walls, like so. And that is going to hold up our lava. Then in the back, opposite the double chest, we'll just build out a block like that and go a block up. Then we will just kind of connect all of our glass back up and close it off at 3 blocks. Like that. And this right here is going to be where our lava goes. So lava will flow the 3 blocks, and it will stop on this block right here. And that will ensure that any cats that do happen to fall in there will actually be able to collect their drops. So that part's pretty straightforward. Now the next thing that we are going to do is take whatever block you choose to be building this with, and we're going to create our 2x2 over the bottom of this lava, our 2x2 hole, just like that. And now we are going to turn this into a 16x16 platform. And that should be looking something like this. Now the next thing I do recommend doing is going and placing buttons right here on these 4 blocks. And that is going to do 2 functionalities. Number 1, that is going to make the iron golems think that there's a block right there. They won't try to resist the water pushing them into the little hole with the red fiery stuff in it. And number 2, what that also is going to do is keep you from pulling your hair out whenever you mess up the water flow system and it turns these into cobble. Yeah, so that's the 2 functionalities of it. Now the next thing that we need to do is go ahead and build a rim around this. Just 1 block wide all the way around. And now that we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and lay this thing out with our ice blocks. I'm going to actually put ice blocks on there so that you can see where each of the individual water source blocks are going to go. And now that is all done, we can go ahead and add in our water sources. So the reason that I did this is because I made an iron farm video in the past. A few of you may have watched it, and in my comments section I got about 2,000 comments that say that they turned their lava into obsidian. So that's never cool. So we're going to go ahead and have this idiot proofing guide right here to, make this happen a little bit easier and less stressful. So here we go. You can see that our water perfectly hugs around this. Now let's go all the way around it real quick. And there we go. Now the way that we did that was we just placed 1 water source in each and every corner. And then we skipped 2 blocks, placed a water source, skipped a block, placed 2 water sources, skip 2 blocks, place 2 water sources. It's a symmetrical design, and it goes all the way around, giving us this nice little thing right here. Now, the only thing that's not nice are these 4 dead spots. Now, iron golems aren't going to be a problem with this, but cats, on the other hand, we do want them to kind of get persuaded to either die right there or move on along and die elsewhere. So, here we go. In order to prevent them from just idling there for forever, we're going to place 4 magma blocks in on the still spots. Now let's go ahead and get started with building up the next layer. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are building this in survival, and if you are doing so, then I would go ahead and simply place some blocks covering up this hole. Otherwise, you will be frustrated if you burn alive right there. So let's go ahead and start this out. The next layer will start out with half slabs going all the way around the perimeter of this. And now that that is all done, we can go ahead and come over here, go up by 2 blocks on this edge right here, and we can build this out 1, 2, 3, and 4 to make a total of 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we will just extend that all the way to the same point on the opposite end. You should have a platform that looks like this, and then you can go ahead and go up and build around that, making sure that you are actually going 1 block in front of this platform on both sides. Now that we've got that, we can go ahead and mirror it on the opposite end, or if you want to, you can actually go ahead and place your signs in all the way across right here. And that is just going to be holding in the water right here. So let's go ahead and actually do that. Then we can just fill in water all the way on this edge, like that, and repeat this on the opposite end. So now that we've got all that added in, we are going to go ahead and build our villager holding chamber before we add in the rest of our half slabs. So the way that we are going to do that is come over to your center. We've already got one block right there, so we will need 3 blocks of airspace for an iron golem to fit underneath it. And so on the 4th block, we are going to go ahead and place our platform. The platform will be 6 by 12, so we can go ahead and make that centered on this 2 by 2. Alright, so now that we've got this 6 by 12 set up right here, it should be perfectly centered. You should have 2 blocks on each side of the platform over here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks on each side of the platform over here. Now that we know that we've got this perfectly centered in here, we can go ahead and begin I'm going to show you the layout for how our workstations are going to go. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That is the way that we are going to have these workstations all set up. So we will have 2 villagers right here in these spots, 4 villagers right here in these spots, and 4 villagers right here in these spots. The rest of this is going to obviously be for kind of a looking area in here, like so. And I'll just kind of do that off camera in a minute. But what I would recommend is just kind of memorizing the pattern of this, because the easiest way to do this is doing it at night one at a time, so that they all come out here and try to sleep in their beds immediately. Like I said, I do it one at a time whenever I'm in survival, and it works out great for me. So what I mean by one at a time is having only the one bed that you're planning on linking and the one workstation. Then you can go ahead, well actually, I'm going to turn the blast furnace the right way, even though it doesn't matter. You can put them however you want. Yeah, as long as the villager can access the workstation, which it can. So we will go ahead and put the villager in. You will see that he should almost immediately link up to his bed, lay down, and go to sleep. Then continue the process by putting in the next bed and the next villager, so on and so forth. Obviously, you'll do this probably with a minecart and rail, is the easiest way that I find to do it in survival. Alright, so now that we've got them all in there, we had them all tucked away in their beds, I went ahead and just built up 4 walls and a roof around this. Put 4 pieces of glowstone in there to prevent any mobs from spawning. And then, over one of the 4 center blocks, we're going to break it and place a bell. Now, one of the guys should link to that, or all of them. I don't really care. I'm not worrying about any village centers with this design. The next thing that we are going to do is go ahead and slab this thing entirely off. You could also use carpet or anything like that. I'm just doing it so that mobs don't spawn, just to be clear. And then we are going ahead. Then we are going to go ahead and place in the rest of our slabs. The way that they are going to go is a block and then a slab on top of the block. That is like the height for the next layer. And so we'll just go ahead and slab that up like so. And obviously what you do to one side, you will do to the other. Then we're going to slab all the way around this whole layer and connect it through to the opposite side over here. And obviously that will go all the way around the entire thing. And then the last layer will go right here. Just like this. And that will be a ring all the way around as well. And the reason that I have done that is because I have found that if you don't have this last layer of rings even, iron golems will spawn all the way out here like one every 1,000 or so. I think it took me like 6 hours of testing to get one, but if you happen to be unlucky and get one in the first hour of this farm, then you're going to leave me a terrible comment and tell me that I'm horrible and I should have never built this thing. So now that we have gone through and totally slabbed this thing out, you should be seeing tons and tons of cats starting to spawn already. That is a good sign. But now we need to fulfill one more requirement for the iron farm, which is the beds, people. So let's place a layer of blocks even with this last layer, and you will just fill this up with beds. I'm kind of weird, so I like to kind of put my beds like this and then turn them the opposite direction so that they are all kind of even and symmetrical. But you do not have to do that. And whenever we get all of these in there, we should end up having a total of 22 beds with the 10 in there, and then the 12 we are adding to the outsides. Also, do be sure to remove the blocks underneath the beds, because if you do not, I have personally seen iron golems spawn there, and that's no good. And as I was just about to say that I think that they have to work and sleep for 2 days, we got our first iron golem to actually spawn in here just moments after me placing the 22nd bed in here. So now that we know we have this thing working reliably and effectively, I think it's a good time to say that if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment, and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. It sure does help me a lot. Thank you so much for watching another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.